almost 2 CET time. My name is Piotr. Welcome in our Land of Trading, educational live trading room. Just one thing for new guys. The chat is moderated, all right? So once we have few minutes, if there are any questions, I will try to answer. Otherwise, if you are not gonna get an answer to your question, please send an email to us, and we are gonna be more than happy to answer, to reply. Okay. Quick risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. All right, we are done with this. Massive positive US dollar news within last 24-48 hours. All right, we know where the US stocks is, we know where Dow Jones is, we know where S&P is. Very positive, and it's the same, very positive for US dollar. As you know, from the blog, from the Twitter, whatever, as you know, for a quite long time, in a medium and long term, we are very bullish on dollar. We've had some hesitations because of this possible head and shoulders on dollar index. I've mentioned about it on Twitter yesterday. Okay. But also, when I mentioned about this possible head and shoulders, I said that, come on, guys, it doesn't mean that we can see some technical pattern, right? It doesn't mean that we have to follow this pattern. It was, as I mentioned, it was the possibility on an intraday basis to try to buy dollar on dip. Anyway, usually, again, for new guys, what we are doing here during our live trading room, we are trying to focus on the present and the future. All right, we are not talking a lot about the past. Of course, we are using the past to try to find some kind of the setups. One more important thing for new people. One thing is a scenario, is a possible scenario. What we are trying to do, usually, we are trying to build two different scenarios, right? We are trying to discuss possibilities to go long and possibilities to go short, right? That's the one thing, the scenarios. Completely different story is when we are trying to discuss setup, all right? So try to not mix it up, those two things, okay? What I mean by that? All right, let me explain what I mean by that. The scenario. Let's discuss scenario, for example, here on euro dollar. That's the weekly. That's the scenario. We went lower, right? Then we had this long consolidation, all right? And the possible one of the possible scenarios is that we should continue to the downside. And that's the scenario, right? And because we are doing day trading, so completely different story is gonna be the setup for this particular scenario, all right? For day traders, okay? So that's the key. Okay, let's start with euro dollar. Let's start with euro dollar. As I mentioned, consolidation. Late November or beginning of December. And one more thing for new guys, you have to visit our channel on YouTube and check what different colors means, all right? Because you may be confused But once you are going to watch the video regarding what blue color means, then you are going to understand everything, all right? But we don't have a time today to go through again. Simply no time to go every time we have a live trading room to go through the colors, all right? So do your homework, check the YouTube channel, and you will find out. So move to the downside on the weekly. Then consolidation, and then, as you can see here, we were trying to go lower on weekly chart. We failed here. So there was a time we were discussing the possibility. That because of this failure, once we started to go higher, we were discussing the possibility that if we have this kind of the failure, there is a possibility that we are going to retest the top of this range, right? Then we saw the breakdown, and we are back where we were close to the end of the 2016, all right? So based on the weekly chart, would be great to close again below 105, below 104.80, 104.60, all right? So bears weekly, they close below 105, 480, and the best below 460. Right? That's what we need from the bearish perspective. Totally opposite if you are a bull. That's simply as it is. All right. So we know where we are. We know where we are on a weekly chart. I just want to make it bigger, so that's the weekly. Let's switch to daily. Let's remove those weekly lines. We don't need them. We don't need them right now. Jesus. All right. So where we are on daily, very important thing. As you know, I like to use at least last two swings to draw the line, all right? To draw the line. So if that was the move number one, that was the move number two, lower low, lower high here. So for our particular example here, that's our daily trend line. All right. Once we are gonna to break, through this level, 104.93, all right, we may try to adjust the trend line. Anyway, what's important here is that supply was very, very active Monday and Tuesday. Supply was very, very active. You can see those upper shadows here. All right. And we are trying to go lower. For those who are longer with me, guys, we know that we have massive possible demand within this area here, right, on a daily chart. All right. So we are going to switch lower in a second, but we have to remember where we are, all right? What's going on here, and we have to understand that, yeah, we may try to trade to the downside. I'm going to explain on the shorter time frame, but we have to remember where we are, right? So we have to be careful because still bounces are possible. But as long as we are below this trend line, I really think we've got the chance. We've got the chance to revisit lower levels. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's have a look what we have on 30-minute chart. Let's have a look what we have on a 30-minute chart. Now, yesterday, if you saw my tweet yesterday, when I mentioned about the possible head and shoulders, and at the same time I've mentioned that euro dollar and dollar yen both were testing, euro dollar were testing intraday demand, dollar yen was testing intraday supply, right? That was my thinking, right? So once we hit this demand, there was clear that we are going to see, maybe not clear, wrong word, sorry. It was very high probability that we are going to see bounce, and we are going to see a little bit higher levels. So if you were a bull yesterday, and you were looking to buy euro dollar, right? And you were looking to buy euro dollar. What would be your target? Opposite supply, right? Last two swings. Opposite supply. The first one was visible here. Okay, and why here? Because we took out from here, we took out wrong. We took out this possible demand. So we took it from here. So that was the first possible and visible intraday supply. The second one, was here, and it was more important from day traders' perspective. Why? Because it's correlated with daily trend line. Right? But anyway, trading from that demand zone yesterday, was it possible or no? For new guys, you have to go and check on YouTube the risk I'm taking or what I'm looking for before I'm going to take the position. Just quickly, I have to have a space, at least 1 to 3 risk-reward ratio, right? In that case, as you can see, there was no way to try to trade long intraday based on this setup on 30-minute chart, in my opinion, all right? That was one of the reasons I mentioned on the Twitter that, guys, this visible head and shoulders on daily chart on dollar index not necessarily is gonna be sell dollar signal, but it might be that if we are gonna to see the pullback, it might be good buying dollar opportunity, right? In that case, unfortunately, if you are looking for resell euro dollar around the daily trend line, around this supply level, right? If you are waiting right at this supply level, unfortunately, it missed by a few pips. So what about today? What about today? Let's go a little bit lower to 5-minute chart. Let's have a look what we have and where we have it. Okay. On 5-minute chart, guys, on 5-minute chart we do have this kind of the possible demand, because we were trying to go lower here, all right? We made the base and we rallied from here. What happened then? We retest this intraday demand. So in my opinion, this level from the day trader's perspective is no longer valid. All right? Simply, there is a possibility that we already filled the buy orders and we are down there. Okay? So what we can do, how we can approach euro dollar if we are looking to sell. We are still discussing selling opportunity on euro dollar, all right? So if you were not able to, or you didn't manage to sell on a higher levels yesterday, there is a possibility that we are going to retest something around 105. Maybe there is a option barrier, and maybe we are going to see Riley, right? If that's going to be the key, I would, the simplest possible way to try to measure and find the next possible selling level, it's to measure yesterday Riley. Once we are gonna to set up the bottom on 5-minute chart and you see the bounce or Riley, then you have to make the measure. In my opinion, as we here on 5-minute chart, we broke through this this low from yesterday, but so right now here, I'm pretty sure we do have some weak supply. We tested already. Most probably what we are going to do here, in my opinion, simply we are going to make this M formation, most probably on this 5-minute chart. And we will try to go lower. Where lower? As I mentioned before, it's 105, 104.80, 104.60, somewhere there, but I would expect some bounce from each level, right? So in that case, if you think that we are going to hold this 105.25, right? What you are looking for another retest of this level to form the M, right? And you are looking to supply from here down to 105, 104.80, 10, 104.60, right? So what we have here on 5-minute chart, we had a rally, and we have possible supply a little bit higher, because from here we went lower, right? From here we went lower. One can argue, and I would agree here, one can argue, Piotr, we have possible supply lower. Yes, there is a possibility. If we are gonna to watch closer, there is a possibility that the true breakdown was from here. True breakdown was from here, all right? So we already tested. I do expect one more test, all right? I do expect one more test, and depends how aggressive trader you are. Hi, Janusz. And depends how aggressive trader you are, then you may try to join the move to the downside, all right? Now the thing is, we are going to have like maybe 6 pips if we are going to add spread everything, 6-7 pips stop here, right? So selling around 20, we need around 18 pips to get 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. Okay, so we are targeting something around 105.2. And to be honest with you, that's very possible. What I'm afraid, that's the very weak supply. That's gonna be very easy for market to push it higher through this supply. So, because as a trader, you have to decide, right? You have to make the move, and let's say if your whole week is quite okay, right? Then that might be the case selling here with 105.02 as a target, but in that case I will try to lower as much as I can the position, and I would go no higher than 0.15 risk. No higher than that, all right? Guys, the distance between the entry and the stop is very close. So your position is gonna be a bit bigger than usual, even with this tight risk. Simply because of the very narrow distance between the entry and the stop, right? And you are targeting the level just above the possible barrier at 105, so it means that 105.02. All right? So that's the very aggressive approach. Otherwise, as I mentioned, if you are going to see, if you are going to see bounce, the easiest way is going to be to measure this distance, the yesterday rally, let's say let's say we are gonna to bottom out somewhere here, right? So then I'm gonna to measure from here, and I'm looking for possible supply zone on this 5-minute chart. Okay. Okay, so we had a rally from here, more or less. Then we fall, retest. So looks like that could be the case. But remember, we missed this one yesterday, right? That's the missed, and we created the new one, intraday new one. Okay. So in that case, if we are going to bottom, so most probably we have to bottom out around 105 exactly to get back into this supply zone. That's gonna be the thing, right? I would be very careful right now, because once we are gonna to remove this supply we discussed before, then we can bottom out that way, and we can easily try to hunt yesterday's stops, right? So we may try to hunt those stops, and we can try to rally towards 105.70, 105.80. Okay. Now, what's the bullish scenario? If there are any bulls left in the house? I don't think so. So let's remove everything here. Let's have a look what we have on a daily chart. Okay. Let's have a look what we have on a daily chart. Guys, the thing is, if we are gonna to see move down towards 104.80, 104.60, but we are gonna to manage to close above this 105.25, even better, if we are gonna to manage to close above today's entry, which is 05.45, then that could be bullish, right? Even better if we are gonna to close above this trend line, all right? So that's the first possible scenario. We have to wait for a daily close much higher than we are right now. That's the first thing. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing could be over today, maybe tomorrow. Let me do that way. Let's say today. Let me do that different way. Let's say we are gonna to end up more or less shitty stuff. Okay, that's our yellow, that's our candle, right? Let's say we are gonna to break lower on a daily. All right? Then tomorrow we are gonna to continue to the downside towards 104, but the whole day, whole week, we are gonna to close above 105. Even better, above today's entry. You got my point? So we are gonna to have this kind of the week to the downside, and as it's gonna be this kind of the candle, right, with lower wick and close above. Otherwise, that's the scenario. Then and only then I would look for buying opportunity, most probably, right? It could easily change because intraday action could be fast and furious, but overall that would be some kind of the bear trap or something like, you know, okay, invitation for bears, sell, and late Friday rally to close week above the support, right? Any questions? Euro dollar, is it clear? So for now, we do have scenario to the downside, watching, waiting. I wouldn't try to sell below 105 unless we are gonna to close below 480, 460, and then tomorrow morning, during the Asia and tomorrow morning, some kind of the consolidation, some kind of the tiny profit taking, that's gonna be new setup, new supply, for sure it's gonna appear. All right? So clear, thank you very much. Then, so we are done with euro dollar. So let's switch to cable. Because very interesting things are going here on cable. Let's start with weekly. On weekly, it looks like we may create at the bottom something in between 21 to 20 as a bottom of the range, and to the upside 27 as a top of the range, right? That's how the weekly really looks like. So let's switch to daily. Okay, here is very interesting. Why? Because what we did yesterday, all right, we broke through 24, 23.70, and we were discussing this thing. I've been tweeting about that. There was on the blog or on the website as well, right? We've got another possible demand very close, 22.50. Okay, which been tested here. So what I'm looking for on the daily is either rally back towards 23.70, maybe a little bit higher, 24.15. All right. Once we are gonna to switch to intraday, we are gonna to find out. Tuesday low is 23.82, so that's the top of this breakout previous demand. All right. Or I'm looking for break lower, either this kind of the retest or this kind of the retest. Okay. Now let's switch to lower time frame. One second, Marcus. Good question. Guys, we are going back to pound in a second. Let's have a look, because some of you, based on a Twitter, are short euro pound in intraday. Let's have a look what we have here. $40.30, I mentioned that we are bouncing here, Marcus. Let's have a look on 5 minutes what we have here. All right, we broke through the entry zone. To be honest with you, because it's only intraday, right? I would secure 20 pips. I would place stop somewhere here. All right, no, Marcus, no break even. I wouldn't go break even, because then it's not risk-free trade. No, not at all. You are risking the whole move, right? 85 entry, right? You are targeting 40, this green line, to 35, right? We are almost hit the target. So placing the stop at entry, it's not a risk-free trade, not at all. You are risking the whole move. That's your money you already have. You have to secure some money. Right? You have to understand that it's not risk-free. You are risking your money. You earned some money already. Of course, if you are still in, means that is a running profit, and you have to secure something, right? And once we are here, what I'm usually do, especially if it's a very close to the target and didn't reach the target yet, but I see that market is starting his dancing, right? What I'm doing, I make a measure from here to the target. That's the distance, right? So that's my distance to my stop profit. That's it. Right? If we here right now, right, we are getting closer. That's how you can trail your stop, right? It's up to you. You are not gonna, never ever, you are not gonna trade the same way I'm trading, and the same me. I'm not gonna never ever trade the way you are trading. Not because my or yours is better or worse, because we are different people. All right. So that's the reason that I can give you some kind of the knowledge, but then maybe you will have to make some corrections, and maybe you will have to adopt something new to you, to yourself, to the how you behave, right? So for sure, and guys, we agreed many times, right? How many people in the room? That many traders, and everyone, even more. We can have crystal ball. We can have the best system ever. And believe me, then most probably 10 or 20% of the people will lose money with the system which never lose the money. That's the life. That's the life, right? So that's how euro pound should be done. Let's get back to pound. Oh shit, I've closed. But we are going to get back to euro pound because of this big head and shoulders and what I've said, that it's not going to happen as many people thought, right? And for now, it's as I mentioned. Anyway, British pound, we know where we are. Let's switch lower to 30-minute chart. Okay. Now you see where we are. Now you know the reason of the possible bounce here, right? Because of this intraday demand visible here. Okay. So what we have here? What we have here? For sure, we took out this demand here, for sure. Right? This demand work here, here, even for a second here. Then finally all buy orders were filled, boom, to the downside. Right? So it's totally opposite to what many people is saying. The longer support holds, it's stronger. It's not true. It's getting weaker and weaker. Why? Because we are filling buy orders, filling, bam, we are lower. Okay? So, if that was such a good demand intraday level, right? And finally, we managed to move lower. What we have from here to here? Most probably, we do have Riley based drop, right? So I do expect that there is a chance, because this old demand, there is a probability it's gonna work as supply, most probably during the first test. That's why I mentioned that Riley back toward this level could be good as an intraday selling opportunity. All right. So let's have a look what we have. We know that we are targeting something around 2250, 2260. Let's have a look what we have and where. Can we do that way? Not necessary. We broke here. Most probably this combination is better. So we have intraday possible supply here, but I would, you know, so I do prefer this this tiny supply zone on euro dollar. That's the pound. I don't know if we are gonna to. One second, guys. One second, guys, please. Let me have a look because I had this euro pound. And 1 second, guys, please. Okay, stop profit being hit. All right. I would be careful here, even with this trend line, right? Even with this aggressive supply based on this falling trend line, right? I would be very careful. I do think that market will try to retest this zone here. That's my thinking. We are gonna to try to retest this level, and we are gonna to try to retest this bigger picture. All right. That's my thinking. So in that case, I'm gonna to make an update on Twitter if necessary. If there is something to trade, I'm gonna to make the update on Twitter, but I would wait for retest above 23.70. Okay. The thing is that intraday, that could be tricky. We made the rally, we made the base, we made the drop lower low here, and immediately we hit this supply. That could be tricky as well, guys. I would be very careful with pound, but anyway, I do prefer to see what's going to happen at above 23.70, right towards 24, this white zone. Okay. Now, what's the bullish case? What we can have from the bull's perspective? We know where we are, 2250. So let's get back to 30-minute charts, and let's have a look what we have around 2250. Okay, what we have here. Let me explain you. We had a rally, we had a base and lower low, right? We hit that supply, there was a reaction as you can see, and huge rally to the upside. So we took out this supply, but we never get back to test this level. All right. So this yellow line here between, I would move it even lower because I don't want to get the shadows. In between here to here, very, okay, that's the first one. And that's the second one. We are going to divide because it's too wide. So this zone here $22.04, $21.80, right? What I would like to see is, before I will consider to go long, I would like to see the breakdown, but not immediately with the test of this zone. I would like to see the breakdown some kind of the retest and very, very slow move that way towards the zone, quick move back, retest, and rally. The only thing what I did incorrectly here, it should be on 5-minute chart, this kind of the combination. All right, I've shown you on a 30-minute chart, but we should switch down, and this type of the action, in my opinion, we should see on 5-minute chart. All right. So simply, we should break down. We should start losing momentum here, right? And once we are going to hit this possible demand, we should see the rally of this demand. Otherwise, if we are going to see one-way ticket here, so we may just get back, retest, like this, and we may fall towards another demand. So it's all about how we are going to approach this possible demand. And what is important, that once we manage eventually, because if we are going to take long, right, and market will go lower, then our job is done, we are going to be stopped out, right? But what is important, once market will manage to get back above 2250, we have to hold that level. We have to hold that 2250, right? Otherwise, if you see that market is going lower, just take the profit you have and run away. But that's the edge we are going to have. That's the edge we are going to have here on pound. Is it okay? It is. All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, so this part been recorded, so I'm gonna to stop recording right now. Give me 30 seconds. So I'm gonna to stop recording. The rest we are gonna to check what's going on, and we'll see if it's any kind of the setup. But first, 30 seconds. I'm gonna to stop recording right now.